Welcome back to the Prohibition Kitchen, both cocktail and champagne lovers. Joanne recently joined us to the cocktails subreddit, where the August monthly challenge was to build an original cocktail using champagne and Chambord. When I saw that, the first thing I thought was a truffle. We made cocoa butter infused champagne and have topped it with dark chocolate and Chambord infused champagne foam. This is my representation of a raspberry truffle in a cocktail. I'm using Costco Champagne here because it's affordable and I wanted to keep this accessible, even if the steps are a little crazy. Committing a few champagne cents here, it cannot be cold for the next steps. So open it at room temperature in your sink, just in case. Then break every champagne lover's heart and pour it into a blender and run on high until it is completely flat. Pour 300 grams into 2 jars. And the remainder into a third. White chocolate is basically cocoa butter, and infusing chocolate is basically fat washing. So follow Dave Arnold here and add 16% or 48 grams of 100% cocoa butter to 1 jar. Then add 48 grams of 100% cocoa to the other one. Follow that with 5 grams, which is 1.6%, of freeze-dried raspberries. You might be saying to yourself, but Anthony, what do you mean fat washing? These are solids. And you'd be right. You'd also be right if you said this was a sous vide bath at 50 degrees Celsius. Drop both jars in here for 3 hours, shaking every 15 or 20 minutes. After 3 hours, pull them out, let them come to room temperature, before adding 2 ounces of Chambord to the chocolate raspberry one. Chambord is actually really delicate. Had we done this sooner, it would be lost. Then put both into the refrigerator for 24 hours. It is really important to use the refrigerator and that much time, not the freezer, to allow the chocolate to precipitate out of the mixture. Rinse your coffee filters, because paper is gross. I also squeeze most of the water out of mine, because I'm about to pour alcohol through it and I don't want to water it down. Filter the cocoa butter one, leaving the puck in the jar. This can be used to make champagne-infused chocolates later. If you're using a Chemex, be sure to rinse it well between jars. These should be treated as incompatible liquids at this point. Carefully pour the chocolate raspberry one, leaving most of the chocolate in the bottom of the jar. Some of the champagne is lost here, but you can't filter through that much chocolate. And speaking of, recover the chocolate out of the filter to use with that cocoa butter to make chocolates. Enough prep, let's build it. First, we have to recarbonate. Pour the white chocolate champagne into your carbonator bottle and carbonate as normal. Then, using a handheld milk frother, add 0.75% by mass of soy lecithin to the chocolate raspberry champagne Chambord stuff. Pour the champagne into a frozen flute. Use a spoon to top with the dark chocolate raspberry champagne and Chambord foam. Then sprinkle the top with 100% cocoa powder. This was a huge amount of work, which is in part why we're actually late to the monthly challenge. That being said, it is beautiful. The light pink foam that has this very clear raspberry and Chambord and champagne and dark chocolate notes, and the very clear white chocolate champagne, none of which is overpowered. It's all very, very well balanced and dry on the palate, very similar to what you expect from a truffle. It's delicious. I couldn't be more happy with it.
Cheers.